So for more, we now welcome Manny Waks, a leading global advocate against child sex abuse, joining us from Ramat Sharon. Thank you so much for your time, Manny. You, of course, were involved in this case, this lengthy battle across continents for many years to get to that moment where Malka Leifer was convicted. She was eventually given a 15-year sentence, but less than 2 years later, and it seems cameras have allegedly caught her in an incident with a young female inmate. So to start, your response.
Sure. I mean, yes, as you're well aware, I did accompany this case, Malka Leifer, from the very beginning, and I attended most of the court hearings, the dozens of them, both in Israel and in Australia, and the current allegations that she sexually assaulted a young 20-year-old fellow female prisoner inside the jail is both shocking but also unsurprising, because Malka Leifer has never acknowledged or accepted any responsibility for the fact that she sexually abused some of her students there. So it's obviously a shocking act that she committed, and hopefully it's being fully investigated. But again, her arrogance, which has been reported widely also in Australia, the way she behaves inside the prison, it certainly seems to be a reflection of who she is and how she behaved and acted when she was a school principal in the 2000s, during the time of the abuse. So from our perspective, we sincerely hope that she'll be held to full account for these specific allegations, but more than that, hopefully when the parole board meets in a few years' time to consider releasing Malka Leifer, hopefully this is when this allegation, hopefully if it is substantiated, that will also hopefully be taken into consideration.
Shocking indeed. And of course, Manny, the original case centered around three very brave sisters who each had to relive their ordeal as that case dragged on for years, and each had to recount their harrowing experiences at the hands of the school principal. And then now, hearing these new allegations from inside prison, it must be so difficult to even process. Have you been in touch at all?
I was in touch earlier today with one of her victims in Australia, and the three courageous sisters were absolutely amazing in their continued battle. And I can tell you that she was absolutely devastated with this latest allegation. It causes them, it's not about the triggers and the like, it's also what she said to me is that she can't believe that Malka Leifer has once again sexually assaulted, allegedly, yet another person, causing further devastation to more people. It's just shocking what's going on. And she emphasized that she hopes that she will have full accountability for all of that, and that she'll be prevented from continuing to sexually abuse others in the future once she eventually does get out.
And certainly we will be watching to see how it all unfolds in this particular case. But Manny, more broadly speaking, given the work you've been involved in, how do you feel the original case has impacted other survivors of abuse in terms of feeling emboldened or strengthened to keep fighting to get justice, even though in many cases it can take such a long time?
Look, I mean, from a personal perspective, not just dealing with other victims, survivors of child sexual abuse, I personally, as you might be aware, was sexually abused back in the late 80s. My second perpetrator has already been held to account. That was in around 2013, where he was sentenced in relation to my case and many other former students at Melbourne's Yeshiva Centre. I'll be travelling to Australia actually in November for the trial of my first abuser, who was extradited in recent years from New York to face that. So I certainly do know about the length and the effort it takes, the relentless effort it takes to pursue justice, and not just pursue justice, but to actually secure a conviction and to go through the entire process. It's absolutely draining. It's the odds are stacked against us, the victim and survivor. But what is critical is that those of us who have the capacity, have the strength, the resolute to pursue such cases, it's important to demonstrate that we are successful, just as in the Leifer case, the brave three sisters did that as well. It sends a message to, firstly, to perpetrators and those who are thinking about perpetrating. Times have changed and they are continuing to change. But it also sends an important message to victims and survivors that we can pursue it. We do get public support. The courts are there to assist us. It's never perfect. It's not black and white. It's difficult. We need support networks. We need to be believed. We need a community to actually stand up for us. We need policies and procedures. There are many things that need to be taken into consideration. But ultimately, we are seeing a much greater awareness around this issue, both from prevention perspective, but also from addressing and responding to these crimes when they do occur, whether it's holding perpetrators and institutions to account, or whether it's about the provision of support to victim survivors and their families.
Commending the courage of all who speak out the way you do. Manny Waks, as always, appreciate you being with us live from Ramat HaSharon. Thank you very much.